This is exciting. I think, are we on the internet everywhere? Where are we on the internet? YouTube, wake up. Wake up, YouTube. Here we go. YouTube is waking up. Oh, I'm excited. YouTube is waking up. There it goes. There it goes. Good morning, everybody. This is John Bolton, or good afternoon, or good evening, whatever it may be. I just want to say how honored I am to be part of the resistance. I don't know if you saw the news, but I'm officially part of the resistance. I was like, hey, Trump's making a shady phone call. It's probably going to be shady. And it was. Trump's a shady dude. I know it. I'm one of you resistance folks. Oh, man, I can't believe it took this long for us to join forces, resistance. We have so much in common. You guys think Trump's a douchebag? I think Trump's a douchebag. You guys hate everybody to your left? I also hate everybody to my left. You guys are cool with people on your right? I actually never met somebody on my right, but I'd imagine the Emperor from Star Wars would be a cool dude if I met him, so I'm down. We have so much in common. Look, in honor of me being part of the resistance now, I wrote a new book in honor of the occasions. You know, I'm a children's book author. Well, I got a new one hot off the presses. It'll be available for purchase tomorrow. It's called Everyone to My Left is a Communist. Everybody to My Right is a Deplorable, but at least I have you. And then the cover of the book is just a bottle of white wine. Pick it up wherever books are sold. Better yet, get it from Amazon. Another resistance hero, Jeff Bezos. Viva la resistance, John Bolton. Now back to whatever ridiculous show this is. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. I am Ron Placone, your host. Lucy's chilling. Lucy's happy. She's like, dude, let's do this. All right. Good to see everybody. I hope everybody is having a wonderful morning, evening, or whatever it is where you're at. And so there's the Democratic debate tonight, isn't there? There's another one. We got another one. This one's in Ohio. All right. What should we be prepared for? Fortunately, CNN tells us. CNN, who, the debate is their property. Let's see what they have to say. There's CNN. Here they go. All right, here we go. How to watch the Democratic debate tonight. We own it, and we're going to tell you how to watch it. All right. This is over from the CNN skis. The stakes are high for candidates participating in Tuesday's CNN New York Times Democratic debate as the presidential hopefuls look to remain competitive in the crowded primary field. Please watch. Please. It's competitive. Please watch this. Please watch this. Our network is hanging on by a thread. Nobody has any confidence in cable news anymore. We count on these things to be our Super Bowl moment. That's why we hover over them like it's our property. It should be available for all the public. There's no reason why a presidential debate shouldn't be part of the public domain, and anybody should be able to stream it at will. It should be as accessible as possible to everybody. But because we have a media structure that shouldn't even be legal, companies like us, we being CNN, are able to bogart public discourse for a group of people who are supposed to pick a leader based on this discourse. How backwards is that to everybody? The answer should be very. Anyway, here we go. Let's get back to this ridiculous article. Former Vice President Joe Biden will stand center stage, and there's a 50% chance he's even going to know where he is. Flanked by Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont on his right, not politically, he'll just be standing on his right. And Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts on his left. Liz Warren is to Joe Biden's left. Yeah, I mean, I'll give that much to Liz Warren. She is to the left of Joe Biden. So are most people. Lucy bounced. She's like, I'm tired of this. I don't want to watch another debate. It will be businessman Tom Steyer's first presidential debate. Thank goodness, guys. I am all about different voices being represented. And for a long time now, I was like, who is speaking for the billionaires? You know, besides everybody in power, because the billionaires bought all of them. But besides every elected official, who is speaking directly for the billionaires? I've been worried about this a long time. I know you have as well. Well, now we got our answer. Tom Steyer's got the billionaires represented. Thank you for doing that, Tom Steyer. That's great. And it's awesome that you were able to buy your way onto the debate stage when other candidates who had the grassroots supports that warrants it were kept off that debate stage. People like Mike Gravel and Tulsi Gabbard on the last debate. Anyway, glad Tom Steyer's there. That's great. Tulsi Gabbard will be on this stage. Tulsi Gabbard of Hawaii will return to the stage after failing to qualify for the September debate. According to the ridiculous rules that the DNC makes up as they go along. What time is the debate? 8 p.m. Eastern time, which means 5 p.m. Pacific time from Otterbein University in Westerville, Ohio, a northeast suburb of the state capital, Columbus. Columbus is a fine town. The Columbus Funny Bone, one of my favorite comedy clubs. Great club. The debate will end at 11 p.m. Eastern time. 3 hours. They're going to milk this thing for 3 hours once again. Why? Because their ratings are in decline and there's a lot of people on the stage. Oh, here we go. This is the best part. Now, they say this shamelessly and unapologetically. How can I watch the debate? It will air exclusively on CNN. CNN. It will also be on their Facebook pages. CNN. They are letting SiriusXM play it, and Westwood One Radio Network and NPR. So it will be on. Radio too. Oh, and check this out. You can also ask Amazon's Alexa to play the debate. That's good. That's good that CNN's helping out the little guy. Hey, Amazon, you're responsible for over half of all online commerce. You also own a newspaper, and you have deals with the Pentagon. You're one of the largest weapons manufacturers. You're in bed with them too. You'll be able to air the debate. Don't worry about it. Alexa will listen directly. Alexa, play the debate. Alexa, I feel like my blood pressure is at a healthy level. Please play the debate. Play the debate, Alexa. I want to get stressed out. Please play the presidential debate. Who is moderating? CNN anchors Aaron Burnett and Anderson Cooper and New York Times national editor Mark Lacey will serve as the debate moderators. So they got 3 moderators, and, I'm not as familiar. I know Aaron Burnett, I think she's done one before. Mark Lacey, I'm not as familiar with off the top of my head. Anderson Cooper as a moderator you might as well just not have one. You might as well just have like a recording of the question. They ask the question, and then the candidates just have a free-for-all. They address the question to someone else initially, and then the candidates have a free-for-all. He does not enforce anything at any time. All right, so who's participating? Here's who all is going to be there. Joe Biden, Cory Booker, who just remembered that he's running for president. Cory Booker, the most boring person left in the race now that John Delaney's gone. Cory Booker. I don't even think Cory Booker knows that he's running. He probably, or if he does know, he found out 20 minutes ago. 20 minutes ago, someone told Cory Booker, hey, you're still running for president. And he's like, oh, shit, all right. If I say Trump's bad, they'll clap, right? Cory Booker. Somehow he's still there. Mayor Pete Boo! He's going to be there. Julian Castro, who's great when he's roasting other candidates. Julian Castro, he should just roast all the other candidates up there. Whenever he's talking like on his own about his own ideas, not all that exciting. But whenever he's going after someone like Beto or Pete Buttigieg or whoever else, go after someone else, see what happens. That's the only time you're remotely interesting, Castro, is when you're going after somebody else. All right. Tulsi Gabbard's going to be there. Kamala Harris is going to be there. Ooh, maybe there'll be a rematch. Amy Klobuchar, I got tired just saying that. Did anyone notice it? Did anyone notice like my voice dipped a little bit? Like I got a little bit of fatigue just saying her name. Amy Klobuchar. If you keep saying Klobuchar really, really fast, eventually it starts sounding like you're saying who cares, which is grossly appropriate. All right, anyway, Beto O'Rourke, stand on something, stand for nothing. Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. he brought us such brilliant insights, such as shootings are bad. That's Beto O'Rourke. And you know what? I gotta tip my hat where it's due. Beto O'Rourke, when he was asked about Bernie Sanders and Bernie Sanders' health, instead of taking the bait or using that for a political move, Beto actually gave a really cool answer. I don't know if you all saw that, but when he was asked, they tried to bait him. They tried to get him to say something about Bernie's health, and he did not take the bait, and he gave a very classy, diplomatic answer. So I will tip my hat to Beto O'Rourke there. He did good there. Beto, the only time you're remotely likable is when you're talking about a candidate who's better than you. That's sorry, that's just the truth. You're not even the best skateboarder on the stage, Beto O'Rourke. Andrew Yang is. Andrew Yang proved that he is the better skateboarder than you. And he is better politically. And by better, I mean like not as terrible. I disagree with a lot of Yang's ideas, but he has ideas, which, I think puts him a little bit ahead of Beto O'Rourke. Anyway, Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. Yeah. Billionaire Tom Steyer. That should just say billionaire. It says businessman. It should just say billionaire. That's what it should say. Senator Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts, who's friends with a lot of billionaires, and then businessman Andrew Yang. To receive an invitation, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? All right. So here we go. We all know the real important part here, the drinking games. So I came up with a couple different ones. First, here's the drinking game that we're going to do if you want to stay very, very sober. If you're thinking, you know what, man, I got work early on Wednesday. I don't really want to be feeling no pain. I don't really want to have a rocky sleep. You know those rocky sleeps where you don't really sleep well and you wake up and you're sweaty and you're hungover. And then you're like, man, I got to go punch a clock. I got to go put up with a boss that I hate and I'm hungover. I might go make a bad decision in the breakfast cafeteria. I might go get some greasy breakfast sandwich I shouldn't be eating because I'm hungover and I just need something to absorb this. Let absorb this, please. Let me get a hash brown. Let me get whatever else. Oh man, I am not feeling this. I was hungover once for a training at a new job. I was like 19 years old, but it was a summer job in between semesters at college, and I got hammered the night before because I was like, I gotta go work in the morning. I gotta go to work. So I got really drunk and I was totally hungover. And I wasn't thinking, it's not like I'm just going to be working on my own. I'm going to be training today. And I'm pretty sure the dude training me totally knew what was up. I should ask him. I think we're still Facebook friends. I should ask him. I should be like, did you know all those years ago that I was totally hungover? And if so, that was really nice of you not to say anything. I appreciate it. He's like, he's a college kid. What are you going to do? He looks like he looks like he's willing to work hard, which I was. I did my job, Anyway, so if you want to stay sober, here's the drinking rules you should follow. Okay, every time they let Andrew Yang speak, take a shot. There you go. Or a drink. Don't have to be shooting. Take a shot, take a drink, however you want to do it. But drink every time they let Andrew Yang speak. You will be pretty sober by the end of it. Drink every time they actually address climate change. Drink every time they do that. Drink every time they speak discouragingly about the fossil fuel industry. Every time they do that, take a drink. Drink when they bring up Flint. Should be more like drink if they bring up Flint. But either way, you get the idea. Take a drink when that happens. Drink when they don't ask a question about Medicare for All in a baiting, leading, and misinformative way. When they don't ask some right-wing framing question about Medicare for All. When they don't do that, take a drink. Let's see. Take a drink whenever Elizabeth Warren or Kamala Harris or Joe Biden, for that matter, interrupts somebody and actually faces a consequence for it. Whenever the moderator is like, I'm sorry, Joe, Kamala, or Elizabeth Warren, you interrupted them. You can't do that. Whenever that happens, take a drink. All right. You follow these rules, you will be stone cold sober by the end of this debate. That's a promise. You will be stone cold sober by the end of this debate. You follow those rules. Every time they let Tulsi Gabbard speak, take a drink. You won't be completely. Obviously, they're going to let Andrew Yang speak. They're going to let Tulsi Gabbard speak. But you'll be pretty Pretty sober. Every time they ask Bernie a question and it's not a leading question, take a drink. Every time it's not a setup question for Bernie Sanders or a gotcha question for Bernie Sanders, take a drink when it's not that. Now, if you want to get hammered, during this debate because you're thinking this is a clown show, this is a disgrace, this is an insult to a democratic process, which it is. It is disgusting. You look at other countries and their election season and the way their debates work. We are gross in comparison. We are a couple notches below a sporting event at this point. But a sporting event doesn't have consequences. It's meant for entertainment. This is supposed to be the direction our country's going to go in. And instead, it's being bogarted as property by a private for-profit media corporation that shouldn't be allowed to exist. And it's going to be a circus. But if you want to get hammered because you know all this and you kind of want to forget for just a few minutes, here's the drinking game you should play. Every time Joe Biden doesn't finish a thought, take a drink. Every time Joe Biden cuts himself off because he knows he's through speaking, take a drink. Every time Liz Warren, instead of answering a direct question about policy, tells a pointless story about herself, take a drink. Man, she must have gotten that out of Hillary's playbook. That's all right. Every time Kamala Harris deflects from her past as a prosecutor, take a drink. Every time Pete just makes some overly sentimental, mawkish, dumb, non-insightful quip about how we need to just be more civil in our politics, take a drink. Every time Julian Castro roasts somebody and it's funny, take a drink. See, they don't all have to be negative. Every time Bernie Sanders actually does get cut off by a moderator, take a drink. Take a drink when that happens. So there you go. There you have it. That's the debate. If you want to be stone cold sober, that's what I just gave you the rules for that. If you want to be hammered, I just gave you the rules for that. And after the debate, Graham Elwood and myself will be going live at the All Things Comedy Network. We'll be going live on All Things Comedy. Follow both myself and Graham on Twitter to find out more about that. We'll be tweeting it. We'll be tweeting it out where you can catch that. But we're going to do a post-debate game, if you will. We'll be doing that later. It'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun. Graham Elwood and myself, which, by the way, we're touring. Get your tickets now for Australia. Get your tickets now for the 2020 dates that are out there. I'll be plugging them all later. You get the idea. All right, so the debates tonight, you know what to do. You know the rest of it. So let's move on. Let's check out this poll. There's a new poll that came out that The Hill is plugging, and I have my suspicions. I got my suspicions. Edwin shares this. Edwin wanted us to go through this. So we're going to go through it. Check this out. Support drops for Medicare for All, but increases for the public option. Really? Well, let's take a look. Support is dropping for Senator Bernie Sanders' Medicare for All healthcare plan, according to a poll released Tuesday. The Kaiser Family Foundation tracking poll found that 51% of those surveyed in October favor Medicare for All. You know what? Let's just stop right there. The Kaiser Family Foundation tracking poll. Who is the Kaiser Family Foundation? Well, they're a nonprofit dedicated to healthcare policy that's affiliated with Kaiser Permanent. What is Kaiser Permanent? That's an insurance group who has a value of about $50 billion. They're part of the for-profit insurance industry. So these are the people who conducted this poll. And what did the poll reveal? 51% of those surveyed favored Medicare for All, compared to the 53% who said they supported it last month. So that's a difference of 2 percentage points. So they're saying that support is going down. It only went down by 2 percentage points. And, oh, wait a second. The tracking poll has a margin of sampling error of 3 percentage points. Do we need to go on? Do we need to? I think that took what? Did that even take a minute to completely debunk this bullshit headline in this bullshit poll? According to a poll conducted by the for-profit health insurance industry, who has billions to gain by not having Medicare for All, they found that support for Medicare for All supposedly dropped by 2 percentage points. Oh, by the way, our margin of error is 3 percentage points. Oh, and by the way, according to this faulty data, even this data The headline could have been, over half the country still supports Medicare for all. Now, conversely, 47 of those surveyed said they oppose Medicare for all, an increase of 2 percentage points. Again, margin of error, 3 points. Apparently 2 percentage points. Some people don't like it now. Our margin of error is 3, by the way. Support for Medicare for all has dropped 5 percentage points since April, and the Kaiser Family Foundation tracking poll in opposition has grown by 8 points. According to these polls, who vary in about 2 degrees, 2 percentage points, whether the margin of error is 3 percentage points. When you add all those up, gotcha. Okay. Do we need to keep going? Do we need to keep going here? Doesn't that say it all? According to a poll conducted by the insurance industry, there's a 2% difference in support for Medicare for all. By the way, we have a sampling error of 3 percentage points. It's almost like we knew the results we wanted to get. We wanted to get the results that people don't want Medicare for all. Those are the results we wanted to get, so we skewed it that way. And we reported it that way. And then The Hill just copy and pasted that headline, baby. Why read the fine print? They're just hoping most people read the headline. Reading the first 2 sentences, you immediately find out this poll is complete nonsense. This is complete and utter bullshit. And over half the country, according to this very poll, still favors Medicare for all. 2 sentences. Oh, and by the way, I didn't prepare this ahead of time. That's the point of this show. Get your news on with Ron. We literally get our news on in real time together. So it's not like ahead of time I had that planned. Edwin tweeted me that article this morning. And in less than a minute, just in real time, we were able to be like, oh, this is all bullshit. I am a comedian who streams from my living room, and I talk to a black cat, and I talk about punk rock music. And I was able, just in 2 sentences, all you have to do is just read the shit. And it is shit. That article is shit. Because our media is shit. And hey, not everything that comes out of The Hill is bad. I mean, the Rising show, Crystal Ball's new show, I enjoy that show a lot. I think they're doing some great work. And that's affiliated with The Hill, so The Hill definitely has their gems too. This article ain't one of them. All right. So, yeah, there you go. According to a ridiculous poll conducted by the insurance industry. Yeah. All right. So here's something a little concerning, and this concerns Google. And this is from, now Linus shared this over on our Reddit subsection, which, by the way, reddit.com/r/getyournewsonwithron. That's our Reddit subsection. We were having some issues with the Reddit subsection. All that is good now. So please continue using the Reddit subsection to share articles for the show, news ideas for the show. All right. Reveal: Google made large contributions to climate change deniers. That's a little concerning because Google controls search results. When you use Google, the analytics that they apply. If they had a bias towards climate deniers, that'd be a little concerning. All right. So, but here's what's going on here. Firms public calls for climate action contracts with backing for conservative think tanks. Google has made substantial contributions to some of the most notorious climate deniers in Washington, despite its insistence that it supports political action on climate crisis. Among hundreds of groups the company has listed on its website as beneficiaries of its political giving are more than a dozen organizations that have campaigned against climate legislation, questioned the need for action, or actively sought to roll back the Obama-era environmental protections, which were not very thorough protections, by the way. The list includes CEI, a conservative policy group that was instrumental in convincing the Trump White House to abandon the Paris Agreement. Google has defended its contributions, saying that its collaboration with organizations such as CEI does not mean we endorse the organization's entire agenda. It donates to such groups, people close to the company say, to try to influence conservative lawmakers, and most importantly, to help finance the deregulatory agenda the groups espouse. A spokesperson for Google said it sponsored organizations from across the political spectrum that advocate for strong technology policies. We're hardly alone among companies that contribute to organizations while strongly disagreeing with them on climate policy. Amazon has, like Google, also sponsored a CEI gala, according to a program for the event reported in the New York Times. Oh, here we go. Here's some of the here's what's really going on. CEI has opposed, quote, regulation of the internet and enforcement of antitrust laws, and has defended Google against some Republicans' claims that the search engine has an anti-conservative bias. Oh, so here's what's really going on here, guys. This is a quid pro quo. This is a quid pro quo, but it's okay when the biggest companies do it. When the rich and the oligarchy, when they do it, it's okay. It's okay when they do it. So what's really going on here, these climate denying groups, they want Google's money. In return, they support policies that wouldn't hurt Google's bottom line. They don't want any antitrust. They don't want to break up Google or Facebook or Twitter. They don't want to do any of that. So they speak out in favor of that. And in turn, Google gives them some money while saying, don't worry, we disagree with their positions. It's admittedly a quid pro, like they just admit it. It's just out in the open. Oh, well, they support policies that benefit us. They support us having the power that we have and never enforcing antitrust against someone like us. They got our back, so we got their back, and we're just going to give them. We disagree with them. Don't worry. Don't worry. We disagree with them. We're just going to give them money, but we disagree with them. Man, what's that phrase? Socialism for the rich? And this isn't socialism. This is just quid pro quo. But quid pro quo, cooperation, scratching each other's back, cooperation for the rich, rugged neoliberalism for everyone else. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. Google, there you go. They'll support you as long as you don't support any policy that would hurt them. That's great. Oh, and you know what? Google actually does favor net neutrality, not for genuine gains, but they favor net neutrality nonetheless. I wonder if this organization has done anything for net neutrality. I doubt it. I don't think they care about net neutrality. I think they just care about the potential antitrust rules that could hurt Google or threaten their power. I bet that's it. All right. So now when it comes to internet freedom, we actually have some good news today too. And here's some news in the municipal broadband world. Now, municipal broadband is city-owned internet. It's taking the internet out of Comcast's hands, out of AT&T's hand, out of Spectrum's hands, and putting it into the hands of cities and communities. Cities that have municipal broadband, they enjoy the highest quality internet you can get in this country at a reasonable price. Just look at Chattanooga, Tennessee. But here's something else about municipal broadband. It is contagious, just like strikes, just like protests. It is contagious in a good way. And a while ago on this show, we covered when a town of 7,000 called Charlemont, Massachusetts, got a municipal broadband project. Their citizens voted for it, they rallied for it, and they got it passed, and they sent Comcast packing. Comcast left their town because they opted to build their own city-owned internet instead. That happened in Charlemont, Massachusetts. Well, check this out. What's that a picture of? That's a picture of another Massachusetts town. And what did that Massachusetts town do? They connected residents to fast, affordable internet access. It's happening and people are loving it. Community members in Shutesbury, Massachusetts are now receiving fast, affordable, reliable connectivity in their homes and businesses delivered via their publicly owned broadband infrastructure. In late August, officials from Shutesbury announced that they expected testing and verification to be completed in early September. The company hired for installation had scheduled more than 200 premises for September and was making plans to hire additional installers to speed up the process. Shutesbury expects to have most of the town connected to the network by the end of 2019. In May, 87% of the town had already signed up, and subscribers have continued to trickle in. Folks in Shutesbury are now beginning to obtain the internet access they've been chasing for more than 5 years. Here's my favorite part of the article. No Charter, not you. In 2017, the town rejected a proposal from Charter Spectrum that would have connected 96% of the community of around 1,700 people. The offer from the cable company had come about when the state agency tasked with distributed state funding suddenly had to change of heart. The Massachusetts Broadband Institute decided that the big corporate ISPs, which have refused to upgrade services in the area in the past, should have another opportunity to use state funding to build high-quality internet access infrastructure. But even though that would have had to bond, citizens didn't consider it a good deal. People from Shutesbury wanted every premise connected to fiber. They also didn't want to enter into agreement with the big ISP because it refused to commit to a specific dollar amount for connecting remaining properties. So, in short, here's what's going on there. The big ISPs didn't want to invest a lot into this community because they didn't think the profits were good enough for their time. Keep in mind, these ISPs, internet service providers, the Comcast, the AT&Ts, they don't give a hoot about offering you quality internet. They could care less about that. It is not a priority. They care about making as much money as possible. So if something doesn't seem financially worth it to them, they just don't build there. So what happens is in Shutesbury, they didn't want to build there. But then this institute, for whatever reason, decided, oh, let's give them another chance. We're sure they have our best interest at heart. Let's give them another chance. And here's some money that we're going to throw at them to entice them a little more to come in and exploit us. Great thinking by that institute, by the way. Great thinking. Fortunately for the citizens of Shutesbury, they saw through it and they said, you know what? No, maybe you guys at the state level trust Comcast here. Or wait, was it Comcast or Spectrum? It's all the same. Yeah, Charter. I think that's under the same umbrella, but either way, no Charter. We don't want you. We're gonna do it ourselves. We weren't good enough for you the first time. What's changed? Oh, they threw some money at you. We're seeing through it. No, thank you, Charter. We're doing it ourselves. So they did it themselves. And what happened? What ended up happening? Well, I'll tell you. The article tells you. It's happening and people are loving it. Do you think if they would have agreed to let Charter come in, that same thing would have happened? It's happening and people are loving it? No, that wouldn't have happened. Shutesbury, Massachusetts, town of 1,700. Charlemont, Massachusetts, town of 7,000. Chattanooga, Tennessee. Sandy, Oregon. Tacoma, Washington's working on something. Santa Monica, California. I'm trying to get it done in Pasadena, California. This is how we're going to take the internet back. This is how we're going to end the net neutrality battle once and for all. Net neutrality policy is important. Don't get me wrong. We got to hold the front lines. But when we take the internet out of the corporations' hands and put it into the hands of cities and communities, that is how we will end the net neutrality battle once and for all. Because it'll be written into our charters. So here you go. A town in Massachusetts. One town in Massachusetts did it, so another town in Massachusetts did it. And here's a prediction straight from me. I have a feeling it's only a matter of time before Boston is going to follow suit, before some of the major cities are going to follow suit, and you're going to see a major broadband project happen there. And then it might happen on the state level. But it all starts in one small community. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. By the way, shout out to our sponsor, ZT.com, ZHITEA.com. Their tea, it kind of rules. And ruling tea is the best kind, right? Right? I feel ya. George Allen, thank you very much for the Super Chat contribution. George says, with this flood of news lately, I always keep in mind what you say, Ron. Don't lose your critical thinking skills. Thanks for that. Thank you, George. I'm glad you appreciate that. I appreciate that very much. And yeah, I feel ya. Don't lose your critical thinking skills. Especially since John Bolton, he's part of the resistance now. Did you guys see that this morning? John Bolton, part of the resistance. That was what I woke up to. I think at this rate, Dick Cheney is going to be part of the resistance in 2025. Dick Cheney will be part of the resistance in 2025. Guys, tour dates, I got them. And George Allen, thank you much. Thank you very much again for that Super Chat contribution. Tour dates, I got them. RonPlacone.com. Australia, don't wait. Get your tickets now. Graham Elwood and I are coming. November 14th, Melbourne. November 15th, Adelaide. November 17th, Sydney. November 22nd, Perth. Get your tickets at RonPlacone.com. We can't wait to see you down under in Australia. Also, we're going to be doing some Southern California dates. December 13th, Ventura Harbor Comedy Club. December 14th, the Sycamore Tavern, the Dojo Comedy. Get your tickets now because we're going to be previewing our 2020 tour, which, by the way, we're going to be touring a lot in 2020. February 8th, Tucson, Arizona. Tickets are available now. February 29th, San Francisco, California. Tickets available now. March 12th, Orlando, Florida. Tickets are available now. April 10th, I'll be in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. April 24th, Seattle, Washington. April 25th, Portland, Oregon. All those tickets are available at ronplacone.com. If you want to support this show on the sustainability end, please do consider becoming a patron. Patreon.com/ronplacone for a give what you can level. You get all kinds of exclusive content. You get a patrons-only stream once a week that the replay is only available for you, and I only take comments directly from the patrons. You also get dialogues between myself and my cat Lucy when they're fresh and hot off the presses. You also get stand-up clips not available anywhere else, and you get a digital download of my album in its entirety. You can just download my album, right? Cool. Some other housekeeping. This is going to be our last show for the week. I need to leave town tomorrow for my sister's wedding. My sister's getting married. It's exciting stuff. So I got to leave town. Got some personal matters. I'm in the wedding. I'm a groomsman. So I don't know why I said it like that. A groomsman. But I am. So yeah, that'll be it for this week as far as shows go. Clips will be coming out. The podcast will be coming out. A bunch of more content will be coming out. And I'll probably be coming at you from my phone a bit. I'll probably do a couple clips from the road, if you will. Although it's not really the road. I'm just going to be, in my hometown of Pittsburgh because my sister's getting married. But anyway, you get the idea. Guys, thank you very much for another week. Again, after the debate tonight, come hang out with myself and Graham Elwood. Graham Elwood and I will be streaming from the All Things Comedy Studio. We'll be right live from the All Things Comedy Studio, breaking down the debate for you. So tune into that. Enjoy the debate. Remember, if you want to stay sober, you got a drinking game. If you want to get hammered, you got a drinking game. I got you a drinking game either way. So enjoy the debate tonight. I will see you after, along with Graham Elwood. Follow me on Twitter at Ron Placone. I'll be tweeting out where you can catch that stream. But Graham Elwood and myself will be streaming after the debate. And until then, you know the drill. Lucy says meow. I say peace. Peace.